Mr. John Takai.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, lady and gentlemen of the City Council, my name is John Takei. I'm a 12-year Fremont resident. My wife is a lifetime Fremont resident, and I'm here as well to address community concerns about the proposed A's Stadium, and in particular, a couple of things. One, the lack of transparency in the process, and number two, the potential negative economic effects of the A's Stadium. I may not get to point two, but let me address point one, the lack of transparency. The A's proposal goes back a number of years. Most people are aware of Pacific Commons and as the original primary site. That site has gone through a number of different plan changes by the A's of how they were going to develop the site. A lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of mitigation attempts have been drafted by the A's to address traffic, noise, etc. Recently, the A's have indicated their preference to move the stadium to Warm Springs, right adjacent to the residential neighborhood, approximately half a mile from Wybell Elementary School. In response to requests from community members as to how they plan to deal with traffic, other noise mitigation issues, etc., the A's cannot provide an answer. Their response is the environmental impact report will address that. Unfortunately, let me step back and say, it's our understanding that the notice of proposal has either been mailed out yesterday or today and is going to be publicly available in the next couple of days. So we don't know exactly what's in there, but our understanding is not a significant amount of detail as to the proposed project. This is very dismaying considering the amount of planning and information that the A's prepared for Pacific Commons and the lack of information concerning Warm Springs. This is supposed to be a public-involved project. The city has indicated that it was going to involve the public in the planning, take the public input, but apparently with a lack of any information about this project in Warm Springs, without any information about where they're going to plan a stadium, where they're going to place parking, where they're going to place supporting structures, etc., it's unclear how they can meet the requirements for CEQA and the environmental impact to see what kind of environmental impact this project will have in the local environment when they can't even say where they plan to place the stadium. Everything is conjecture. This is just not acceptable. People in the community still do not know where the stadium is going to be placed, Pacific Commons versus Warm Springs, or that the focus has shifted from Pacific Commons. There is a lot of misinformation or misunderstanding that people believe it's still in Pacific Commons. That needs to change. The city needs to start educating the residents as to what is happening, what the process is going to be, what is going to be done, what are the plans, and how this program is going to proceed. Because by the time we get a draft economic impact report, it's going to be too late, and the city residents are going to be up the creek. So I hope that the city takes an active role to start educating the residents in the community as to what this process is going to be, what this project is actually going to entail, and how it really is going to impact us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We usually don't respond to oral communication, but there's a procedural question. I'd like the staff to just very briefly explain the process of an environmental impact report and what happens before it can even be considered for approval.
So what the environmental impact report and the notice of preparation is the environmental impact report is basically kicked off publicly by the notice of preparation. And that goes to the public and the agencies, and what that is asking for is areas of study, areas of potential impact. And then we collect all that information, give it to an environmental consultant or a team of environmental consultants, each in their own areas of expertise, and that is developed into a draft EIR. That then becomes public, probably summer, and then we again go out for the public and get responses to is this environmental potential impacts reasonable? There's a lot of, conversation at that time, and then there's an opportunity for responses to comments. At that time, every response to comment of the draft EIR is then responded to in what is called the final environmental impact report. And that then comes to the council, and after that point, so after the council first sees the draft potential impacts, then hears from the community, then hears responses to those comments, then hears the public again in public comment, then the council is asked at that time to make a decision on the project.
Thank you. Okay, the next speaker is, final speaker is Bernadette Chin.
Bernadette Chin, 3513 Wheeler Rim. I actually live in the north end of town, so I'm pretty far from where the proposed stadium is going to be. But as a resident here in Fremont, I just feel like I need to express myself as to how I see this, what's going on with the ACE. What is really behind this project? Why? There has been so many people that has expressed their opinion against this now. The last election even showed that majority of the people who voted for whoever is the mayor now voted is pretty much, the candidates were pretty much either against or was against the ACE or was willing to put it on a referendum or a vote for the people. I would like to know when the city knew about the decision of Prologis, the company where Costco and the original site was. When did they find out that that Prologis was against the stadium? Was it before the election or after the election? Would it have been an issue or not an issue? That's something I would like to know. I feel also that the people, members of the community, are being spared information that many of you knew before and are not willing to share. For you to be very positive that the ACE is going to be here, you have to know more than what you're telling. I'm sorry, but this is how I, as a citizen, perceive what's going on with the ACE. Let's not play ball all the way unless you are true to the people and you tell everyone really what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public communications.